To another reading from the Science of Mind magazine, the Daily Guides. This one is entitled, This Too Shall Pass. This Too Shall Pass. First one is from an ancient Greek, depending on how you want to pronounce his name, Heraclitus or Heraclitus, as we put the accent. There is nothing permanent except change. There is nothing permanent except change. And speaking of the Greek philosophers and so on from ancient times, most of them, we just have fragments of what they wrote. We don't have the whole thing. Some people put stuff together, but by and large, we just have fragments. And this is one of the guys that I studied when I was studying some Greek philosophy. So we are. Priest Holmes says, each day is a new creation, a new moment for a fuller awareness of spiritual reality, and a time for designing the new life we want to live. That's probably a mouthful, huh? Each day is a new creation, a new moment for a fuller awareness of spiritual reality, and a time for designing the new life we want to live. So every day gives us the opportunity to do something fresh again. And this is from Diana Ensign, our writer this month, who says, when in the midst of turbulent life circumstances, either our own or on a global scale, we may find it difficult to remember that all things are impermanent. The quote, this too shall pass, reminds us that everything changes and is in a continual state of flux. Each day presents opportunities for the birth of new ideas, new creations, and new patterns to emerge and lead us to the life we desire. If we feel overwhelmed by challenging events, seeing the bigger picture can sometimes help us to remain hopeful. As we deepen our spiritual practices, we might remember that, as in nature, destruction often precedes and is necessary for renewal and growth. He says a job loss, a divorce, an opening for something bigger to materialize. We can't usually see it at the time. But some of our biggest losses may lead to our greatest achievements. Yes, bringing us to situations and people who offer us greater fulfillment and happiness. The same is true for world events. Nothing lasts forever. Even horrible events may impart critically important life lessons about compassion, tolerance, and courage, along with the urgent need for positive change. I gotta say a little comment here. I really don't like the word tolerance. And I mentioned this the other day, and I've mentioned it quite a few times. Tolerance says, yeah, okay, I'll put up with you. But acceptance is completely different. It says, I'll accept you as you are. Well, to me, tolerance is, it's better than nothing, but it's, well, I don't know. I just have got an aversion to the word tolerance. A quote I like from the John Sayles movie Matwan is spoken by one of the characters who says, quote, God puts us here and the rest is up to us, unquote. It is up to each of us to design a life that we want to live and to create a world that works for all. As I've often mentioned, stories really are the things that get the message across. What this reminded me of was one time, it's quite a few years ago now, an opening came for promotion at work. And I didn't get it. I was the most qualified person for it, both in terms of experience and also my background knowledge and so on and so forth. But I didn't get it, and I didn't understand why. The guy who got it was, in my opinion, one of the least qualified for the job, but that's another story. And for about a day, I was really upset. And then I decided, okay, this situation's a done deal. I'm going to assume there's something better out there. I'm going to let go and let God. A few weeks later, my boss called me into his office and said, look, I know you wanted that promotion and you were the best person at the time whom I should have chosen to put in the job, but I didn't for a really good reason. And the really good reason was, this is what he said, had I given you that promotion, it would have been a 1 grade increase. But I knew that we were redesigning our whole organization here, and I wanted to create a new department, and I wanted you to be the head of it, and that is a 2-grade promotion. But because of the stupid rules of our company, had I given you that promotion a few weeks ago, you would have had to wait a whole year to get that 2nd grade increase. So by not giving it to you, I'm able now to give you a 2-grade leap. Stupid corporate rules, right? But the bottom line was that when I let go, it opened up the path for something bigger to happen. Now, some people would say that's just coincidence, but I don't think so. I think it's faith. That when you really, really have faith that something better is going to show, it really will show. And I think that is part of the message here she's saying. And right now, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world and in the US and in the world that I don't like. And I've had my moments where I have really ruminated on this for probably too long. But I finally decided, and when I'm in my prayer time, I just know the highest and best. If I don't know specifically what to pray for a person or a situation, I pray for the highest and best because that's just the same as saying, I let go and I let God, and I know something better is coming. So that is my recommendation today. It's to practice letting go and letting God. But that also comes with something as well, that you have to be open and looking around to know that these opportunities arrive, because usually it doesn't happen like it did in the movie The Secret, where you just or meditate or whatever about a situation and then woof, the elephant appears out of nowhere. No, as Bob Proctor, the late great Bob Proctor, used to say, you've got to do what the Quakers did, which is to pray and move your feet. You've got to be open to what's going to open up for you and then take advantage of it when it comes. So that is my message today. Daniel Murkidam, I believe, was on at noon-ish. I didn't get a chance to see it. I've been busy all day. And Reverend Lisa will be back tomorrow. And these are all on Creative Life Spiritual Center's Facebook page. So I'll be back. See tomorrow. So I should be able to be back about 5 o'clock tomorrow. We'll see how that works out. You never know what happens with events. So the affirmation. This is going to be the closing treatment. I create the life I want to live each new day. I create the life I want to live each new day. Remember, a treatment or a prayer is a declaration that something is so. And we have to do it in the knowledge that it's not our power that does it. There's a power greater than we are. And we also have to be in great gratitude for what's going to happen before it actually happens. And then we have to let it go and let the divine do its stuff, which I say is done. And so it is. So, till next time, namaste.